Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear Leak Project. How the heck are you? We're going to talk about the grand solar minimum today, crop shortages, extreme weather around the world, and also some lighter news. I just have to hit the mute button here real quick. There we go. We're going to talk about a really cool race car that Ronnie, the man, the legend, the way of life, GetTheT.com is sponsoring. It got first in its class, I think 23rd or 24th overall out of hundreds of cars that started at the beginning. And we're also going to talk about how to keep your temple in optimal health. Your temple is pretty important, ladies and gentlemen. So check out Get the Tea. I've been taking this stuff called Super Tea. Love it. Absolutely love it. As you know, if you've been watching the Leak Project, I got back from my grandma's funeral just a short while ago. Her funeral was on the 18th. And I had an opportunity to meet some family out there. And one of my family members, he's in great health, but he jumped out of airplanes for 20 years. It was a golden night. So he's got some neck opportunities, some hip opportunities, some stomach opportunities and such. And we started talking. I was like, yeah, you got to try this colostrum and Allison and Super Tea. It'll change your life. And I kind of told him about some of my personal stories and how I had to really watch very carefully what I was eating for years. I would stop eating at a specific time, and I would, I kind of lived my life around eating, and I like when to eat. And I didn't like to eat is the thing. It wasn't like I was eating a lot. I wasn't eating a whole lot. And I just kind of changed. I changed my diet for a while, and that didn't seem to help a lot. I added a whole bunch of supplements and stuff. But then when I started doing the colostrum and also the Allison Advanced, that seemed to be the best for me personally, for my stomach opportunities. And I've actually put on some weight since then. And now I'm going to have to watch what I eat because it seems like I'm just, oh yeah, okay, there's the dirty clown. I'm really hungry. I'm going to go pick up a Egg McMuffin. It's like, man, I can actually digest that now. And maybe that's not a good idea. So it's kind of a bittersweet, but I feel amazing. And I think that's what's really important is I feel amazing. So, but anyway, the grand solar minimum, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of divagated there for a minute, but hey, it's an organic conversation, right? This is Leak Project here. Got Ronnie, the legend, with us. But Ronnie, hey, man, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, Rex?
Fantastic. I feel amazing. That's, Colorado, the high Rockies out here, 7,500 feet elevation. A lot of people come out here. They can't breathe very good. They walk up the stairs. They're out of breath. I'm ready to go mountain biking and hiking. Met Oppenheimer Ranch, David yesterday talking about the grand solar minimum. He's not far from here. It's amazing times we live in. It's exciting.
Maybe you can wrestle some of those backyard bears.
There's actually some back there. And
there's some athletic work right there for you.
Yeah. If I could actually wrestle a bear and do a podcast about it, well, I don't know about that.
The key is, though, you got to live to tell about it.
I'll put gloves on them. It'll be
It's kind of like the David, in the scriptures. You kind of got to beat it. And if you don't, kind of keep it quiet.
I would rather just give them a hug. I don't want to fight them. They're cool. They've got that anyway. But yeah, grand solar minimum. The grand solar minimum. Have you noticed you're in Arizona, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if I get to 9,000 feet elevation in certain areas, I can see the devastation of the trees. I've left all sorts of pictures of this, shown documentation. 50, 60, 70% of the forests are dead. And the official story is beetle kill. Well, how come when you go to a lot of these trees at the higher elevations and you're looking for that, the side effects of what would happen if it was beetle kill, you're not seeing the holes, you're not seeing the sap coming out, you're just seeing the trees are fried. It's like, wait a second, what's going on? Well, the grand solar minimum that the Mayans were actually correct when they predicted December 21st, 2012. Hollywood took that, the entertainment industry took it, said it's going to be the end of the world. Certainly wasn't the end of the world, but it was the beginning of a new solar cycle that we're in right now. And the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the extreme weather. I can go through a list of extreme weather patterns throughout. If you go to emergency website, the website specifically is hisz.rsoe.hu. And I can list dozens of what is considered either catastrophic or great level 4, level 5 of 5 damage of extreme weather. And we're talking globally, we're talking countries like India, countrywide, 5 of 5 catastrophic extreme weather, over 1 billion people live out there. I mean, we are in unprecedented times right now. And with that being said, everybody that I have talked to that lives in the Four Corners area that has a chance to visit these higher elevations has seen the devastation also. And what's it like out there in Arizona?
Well, I think the biggest thing is if we watch the trees will tell all. And why are our trees dying? And like you said, it's this beetle bug thing. Yeah, I don't buy this. And what's interesting, I mean, we're having major weather changes. I think if I'm correct, Hawaii right now is bracing themselves for a very, very strong hurricane. So there's a lot of issues going on. The volcanoes. And in fact, again, Hawaii suffered a major volcano eruption not too long ago. And we're also seeing earthquakes that are going to be bigger. They're not getting smaller, they're getting bigger. And, when and this was probably 3 or 4 years ago, I interviewed geologists, and they're saying basically Ventura County in California will suffer a major earthquake, somewhere between a 6.0 and a 7.0. This might really understand the tsunami signs that you see at the beach, which they never had those. And now there's tsunami signs. You're in tsunami range. And I'm like, and it's like 7 or 8 miles out. You're like, really? 7 or 8 miles out and I'm still in the range of a tsunami? Not feeling good about that. So we've got some stuff on the way. And I think the whole thing about the wild times is dead on. I'm kind of changing the words a little bit, but I like the wild times. This is Buffalo Bill days all the way.
Let's talk about that for a minute if we can, because the Buffalo Bill days. Right now, it seems to me that there is a multinational corporation system that these corporations have more power and control than some countries. And they can get away with just about anything. And when you look at the products and the certain industries that are out there, that in my mind is the Wild West. These mafias have gotten together and they're willing to do anything for the bottom line. And whether it's whatever those profits are, they're willing to do whatever it takes to get those. Now, one thing that I find fascinating, though, at the same time, is I see this dualistic reality that we're in. And as much negative as I see on one side, I see the opposite on the other. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So even though there's these horrible monstrosities out there, we're seeing these beautiful opportunities at the same time. So it's like it's making us stronger. The darker something becomes, the lighter we can see the opposite spectrum. And that's what I love about organic opportunities, not mechanical opportunities. I was reading an article the other day where DARPA wants to use RNA instead of antibiotics to get rid of certain infections now. And getting into this real mechanical type and then nanotechnologies and stuff like that. I think if we just kept our bodies organic and healthy, that would be usually the best opportunity in most circumstances to be efficient as possible. And it seems to me like this genetic engineering has been going on for years now. But I want to go back to the global situations that we're dealing with right now. Let me just list off, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to tell you a few different, go directly to this website, hisc.rsoe, right now. Extreme weather, countrywide, the state of Indiana. This is 5 of 5. This is catastrophic. What else do we have? Flash floods, state of Utah. We've got Japan dealing with extreme weather right now. A tropical storm right now hitting Hawaii, and they've still got the Kilauea volcano right now. Multiple volcanoes going off, and this is, a lot of people think, all linked to the grand solar minimum based upon the magnetosphere collapsing. Now, we've talked a lot about chemtrails, stratospheric aerosol injection, solar radiation management before. And Ronnie, I know that you're also very passionate about this because you don't like aluminum and barium being sprayed in the atmosphere. If the powers that be, because they live here too, if the powers that be are looking at this as a way to help the magnetosphere from collapsing, to divert doom as long as possible, because I was talking to David from Oppenheimer Ranch yesterday. He's very well versed in solar cycles and how these solar cycles are linked to, such as grand solar minimums, et cetera, are linked to the rise and fall of civilizations, such as Rome and Greece and many in the past. And there's these resets about every 11,500 years. And where we're at right now, our position right now in the solar system in conjunction with our sun, we are in unprecedented times because not only are we dealing with the grand solar minimum, but also the magnetosphere collapsing. And I think that we can see that with all these trees around these areas that are these higher elevations. So now we're having to deal with crop shortages, food shortages. Food is going to get extremely expensive. We're in unprecedented times right now.
Well, just know Monsanto is there to save us. because they're going to produce their crop corn, and we're going to eat their GMO corn and probably grow horns and maybe a snout, look like a goat after time. And you know, well, instead of talking, it'll be, you know, I mean, seriously, and I joke, but on the same token, things are changing with genetically modified organisms. And we've talked about this many times on the show. But what is interesting is, like, we've been having here in Arizona really drastic thunderstorms and a lot of water in a short amount of time. So you can get your kayak out and have, you know, 30 minutes of kayaking right in your front yard. It's kind of cool. The key is have your house built up. Otherwise, you're going to be flooding. So we have this going on. But here's the interesting thing about it. Allergies, sneezing, eyes watering, itchiness, all this after a thunderstorm. Is that supposed to be? No. So something's going on that's in the thunderstorm that's changing things. And why not salt and pepper some disease inside a thunderstorm and blame it on the weather?
Hey, oh yeah, blame it on the weather. It's the weather's fault. And speak, I'm so glad you brought up Monsanto. They do love us so much. They love us dearly, and yes, we know that.
We love you too.
How about this poor man? Bless this man's heart, body, and soul, that he won a lawsuit of $289 million against Monsanto for using a professional grade Roundup. And the jury, if you read the article that I read, it talked about how the jury gave him this, you know, he won the lawsuit based upon, just read the lawsuit. I don't want to get into too much details, but you need to read it. $289 million lawsuit. Hey, that's one for the good guys. And then get this. Oh yeah, this makes me so happy. I'm just doing my happy dance right now. Woo! 8,000 right now. Bayer's Monsanto is being sued by 8,000 plaintiffs on glyphosate. Thank you so much. They love us so much. What will that do? When I saw that, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just so excited right now, Ronnie. When I saw that lawsuit and I read about it and I read what the jury decided and how they decided it, I thought to myself, wow, this is the tip of the iceberg.
Now, did those 8,000 win?
Okay. This article came out 5 hours ago. Bayer's Monsanto is being sued by 8,000 plaintiffs on glyphosate. This is from Wochit Business. Just go to Google. Just go to Google and type in Monsanto sued. Go to Google, type in Monsanto sued. Reuters. Bayer's Monsanto faces 8,000 lawsuits on glyphosate. Oh, gee, I feel so bad for them.
They admitted in the one where they gave $289 million, they admitted that it was a poison. So with that admission that, hey, this is a poison, those other people, those other plaintiffs have a really good shot of winning. Now, will they win as much? I don't know. But if they do, that actually could hurt Monsanto a little bit.
Well, you should have seen their stock prices the past couple of days after that issue was declared and it hit the news. The stock prices took a nice drop, or Bayer that absorbed Monsanto. So I think that is personally, from my opinion. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a disclaimer. This is my opinion, and I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think that's awesome. I think that's fantastic because, first of all, you can't put a price on life. And when you find that chemical, when they do testing on vaccines and food samples, and they find glyphosate in it,
they're finding glyphosate. They're finding glyphosate in organic products. Did you know that? They're finding glyphosate in organic products. I'll say it one more time. And of all the products, it's kind of interesting. I think it was some crackers that was put out by 365. By the way, 365 products are Whole Foods. So Whole Foods was one of the ones that said, oh, well, maybe we don't need to label stuff for Monsanto. They were kind of one of the first ones that kind of jumped in bed with Monsanto. Probably because maybe they were threatened, maybe they weren't, maybe I don't know what the case, somebody got paid off. I have no clue. But I think it's interesting that some of the organic products, which should be far, far, far away from this, is poisoned with glyphosate. So things are going to change, and I think the good guys are going to win. We might still have a few rough waters, but I think we're going to win.
It certainly is looking good right now. And we all know that the media is extremely good at spinning certain situations and scenarios. And right now there is a total of 5 corporations that control over 90% of the media that people consume on a daily basis. Make sure to go watch your daily programming, because if you're not a part of the programming, they'll give you something else to make sure you're a part of the programming that they want you to be a part of. Love it. I absolutely love it. Now, glyphosate. Somebody said, Rex, slow down. No, I don't want to. This is exciting. Most people know me. This is how I roll.
I just want to plug in.
I
just want to plug in. You need to be in my race car.
Yeah. See, let's talk about this for a minute, because first of all, here's another one for the good guys. Instead of an energy drink company that makes billions of dollars winning a race, you have somebody out there that's, it's like a mom and pop shop, organic supplements, awesome products, and awesome people that actually care about the people. Well, we're talking about Ronnie and Get the Tea right now. Tell about this race car. This is exciting. But you've got to get me one of these things, because
I got to give you the story though. This is really the story of stories, and I'll keep it halfway short. But long and the short of it, I had to go down to Phoenix. Okay, so I live near Sedona, so I had to go down to Phoenix, and I'm on my way home. I had a couple appointments. I had on my way home, and I look, and there's this truck, and has a pull on a trailer, and on top of the trailer is this dune buggy. So I pull up next to it, and I'm like, wow, that is not a normal dune buggy. That's a bad boy dune buggy. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And on the side of the dune buggy, it says Kevin McMullen Racing. And I'm like, that dude's got my last name. Oh my gosh. So I called him. I thought about it. I said, you know what, why did I pull up next to a race car? What is this all about? So by the time I got home, I kind of knew. I said, you know what, would you be interested in a sponsorship? I mean, I don't know if I have the money to do that, but I sure would like to do that. I said, and by the way, my last name is McMullen. And he started laughing. And the long and the short, we ended up being, connecting, sponsoring the car. We wrapped the car. We got it all ready to go. And the first debut race as a Get to T car. Okay, now it's been racing as Kevin McMullen Racing, and it's still Kevin McMullen Racing, but it has a Get to T wrap. The first wrap, talk about a true detox. We won first place at the Vegas to Reno. And I am stoked about it, because the driver is 17 and a half years old, and he beat some of these guys that have been racing for 20 years. And most times in a race like that's 530 miles of off-road terrain, crazy terrain. And out of 530 miles, usually you switch drivers, somewhere in the half mark, somewhere in maybe worst case scenario, 3/4 mark, because this race starts in the morning and it ends at night. Our car pulled in probably around 9:30 at night. So we're running even lights. And just so you know, just to train a few people, this kind of racing is zero visibility. When you have cars in front of you, they're leaving this minute dust that flies up. So you're driving blind. And so there's a whole system on the car so that a GPS system, so you can find your way through the course and through the cars. And these cars, our car probably averaged about 70 miles an hour, top speed 106. Some of these trophy trucks, the Monster, the Red Bulls, and all these other big trucks, they're averaging 105 miles an hour, top speed 140 miles an hour. So to have 350 enter the race, only 170 something finish the race, and to finish top 23, 24, that's pretty good, first in class. As you can tell, I'm pretty stoked.
Well, and you should be. I think that's fantastic. I'd love to see some footage of that. Maybe just put a short clip on one of my videos in the future of that, because
because we have some helicopter footage, and so I'm going to send it to you. And of course, the car is green. What do you think about that? So the car is green, and you can see it against this brown dirt. It's like easy to find. So yeah, we'll have some footage on it. I'll get a clip to you as soon as we get it, and some pictures, so that people can see the car and get into it. And it's really fun, I have to say. It's I used to race motorcycles clear back when I was a pup, and I beat myself up a little bit, but man, it was great. And man, as soon as I went 90 miles an hour chasing in these pits so that we can make sure this car does it, our pit stops average 3 minutes. That's tires changed, fueled, and out the door, ready to go again. 3 minutes. I mean, what kind of service is that?
So, I mean, you definitely had everybody, their water bottles were filled with the Super Tea, and, just to get that really, and I want I want to say something really quick. You know, I was just poking fun at that person a minute ago, and I'm sure they're cool with it. And I'm reading the comments. People are having a fun time here. They know me. They know how I roll. I'm always like this. Give me a little super tea, then I'm even further out there. But I just think that I want to jump back for a moment because I forgot to bring this up, and I think it's important. And I'm glad how we're kind of interjecting good news in with the bad to kind of keep things afloat here. One thing that I forgot to bring up was the connection with these grand solar minimums, Ronnie, and the time frames that they happen. If you look throughout history, based upon these cycles, these civilizations rise and fall. And it's like the Roman Empire as an example. And we're kind of a different version of the Roman Empire now. But do you think the powers that be, they're going to know this? They're going to know about this, obviously, the MFers, the money funders. And so they're probably going to time everything and link it to these cycles. So I think the more that we can be aware of these cycles, the more that we can prepare, not only with our own physical health, keep our physical temples in as good a shape as possible, but also have measurements in place that if we can't go to the grocery store as easily as we can now, or if the price of groceries, which I'll bet you they're going to go up big time in the next 12 months, based upon these reports that I'm reading from the Global Footprint Network saying that we've already used all of the Earth's resources, the yearly consumption of human resources on this planet, we used it up at the end of July. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I will say one thing, and I want to throw this out too. The powers that be, the bad guys, I call them they and them. They are changing our world, and they're doing it by their food. They're doing it by obviously the chemicals in the air and the water, so on and so forth. Okay, so let me tell you how this really kind of affects us. Let's go down to our level, okay? Because we can sit there and say, "Oh yeah, there's stuff in the air, and there's stuff in the water. And, oh my God, there's stuff everywhere." We can do that, but we need to kind of really dial in. So let's talk about nutrition for just a second. So I went to a nutritionist this past couple of weeks, and I didn't even know this, but I got stuff wrong with me that affects my thinking, and it's all about nutrition. So here's an interesting fact. So they can actually change by these chemicals, by these garbage, in other words, not having organic products, making sure that GMO, genetically engineered, all this kind of stuff. It changes your food. So when you eat this food, it actually changes the way you think. So for those of you out there listening, watching, and you're listening to Rex and you feel depressed, you have anger problems, okay, that's half the people. Now, the other half, no. But I mean, seriously, we don't even know sometimes that we have these things. It's called a chemical imbalance, okay? And we're surrounded by chemicals, your shampoos, your soaps, your this, your that, your bleaches, blah, blah, blah. These chemical imbalances change. And think about how many Hollywood stars have hung themselves, suicides, and they're depressed. And I'm thinking, dude, you're pulling down 1 million or 2. Everybody loves you and you're depressed. What the hell are you talking about? But if you have a chemical imbalance in your brain, fired off by chemicals and GMOs and everything else, no one knows about it. So you go and commit suicide off of something that could have been changed just by going to a nutritionist and changing and putting supplements in you. You could change all of that. It's that easy. And it's a little costly, but it will change your thinking. So some of you that are forgetful, some of you that are not thinking straight, you're forgetting things, you're maybe not remembering things. This is all chemical imbalance. And this is my belief system, because how many times have you seen an 80 or 90-year-old and they're sharper than sharp, right? But then sometimes you'll see a 50-year-old and they can't even remember their name. What's wrong with this picture? So my point is, we can change what we're doing by paying attention. It's not just supplementing. It's actually our diet. It's our supplement. It's our exercise. And sometimes we have to get really wild and even go to a homeopath and say, hey, it's kind of interesting. I've never been so excited. It was the first time that I thought, oh man, somebody's really going to help me. And all my supplements, which I take, were tested, and they tested positive. And that was such an exciting thing for me, because she puts it right on the machine and tests it. Okay, let's see if this is good. Boom, it's good. And I think, oh, so taking the supplements is major. But sometimes you need a little extra oomph with your diet, and sometimes you need a little extra oomph with homeopath and different things that you need to take, some extracts, what have you. But you can get better. And some of these diseases, just so you know, you can beat it.
Well, let's even break down that term, dis-ease.
Yes.
You're not at ease. There's an imbalance there. So how do you get it back in balance? And I think that right now we can find enough stuff out just by doing our own research combined with the products that are available that there's some great opportunities. I mean, 10, 20 years ago, or let's take it back even a little bit further. If you go back 20 years, 30 years, you didn't have access to the World Wide Web like we do now. We kind of did, but it's at a point now where we can take control and put it back to ourselves. And speaking of the temple and your physical temple, your mental aptitude is so important as well. So you fill up all the foods with chemicals that mess up your harmonious balance in your mind and your body. Yep. Then it's difficult to do just your daily routine.
Well, what's interesting that I found out is there's a couple of threats, some big threats. And I'm just going to tell people out there that you got stomach problems. Let's talk about a couple of big threats. Big threats that you obviously know about is gluten. Gluten's a huge threat. Okay. Casein, okay, which is a lot of milk products. And also in gluten products is that's a huge threat. Here's one that you might not know of. Yeast is a huge threat. Okay. So this also produces candida and different things. So when you are off balance, and it's all about balance, as I've gone to this nutritionist and I'm learning so much, it's very interesting that, I said, okay, you got to take, 2 moringa pills and you got to take 4 Allicin and you got, and I said, well, what about RDAs? And RDAs, which is recommended daily allowance. And she's like, that doesn't work that way. It's like, you got to take what's good for your body. So point being is you're taking these products. And I said, am I going to have to take these products the rest of my life? No, Ronnie, you're out of balance. It's like being on a tightrope and all the weight is on one side. You will not walk across. And the key is diet, exercise, and supplements can help you balance. And the next thing you know, your thoughts are different, your body's different. I told her, I said, boy, I'm taking some of these things and my stomach is like grumbly. And she smiled. She says, it's starting to work again. So when you said, Rex, earlier, when you said, yeah, I've been taking the colostrum and boy, I'm hungry now and all this, it's because you're healing in your body. Your body's going, hey, I kind of want some food now. And her words to me was, well, if you're hungry, go eat. So it's nice to have our digestive tracts working so that we can feel better. I mean, and that's to me what they and them are all about, is trying to get us to feel crappy, to do away with ourselves, to just follow like sheep. Okay, I'll just believe that program on CNN. Yeah, that's what did it say? Hand all your money over to the government. Okay, no, I don't think so. We don't need to be doing exactly what they say. We need to be investigating. And if you think about our politics, it's the most wild run it's the party of parties. It's the Ronald McDonald of the world watching our politics. And they're trying to get rid of our president. And they're blackmailing. They're doing everything. And it's all why? I think the whole thing is, and I only heard it on one program, the whole politics circus is about keeping Hillary out of jail.
Wow. Well, thank goodness, Ronnie, they love us so much, because if they didn't, could you imagine? I mean, it's all for our protection. They have our best interest at heart. Hillary, she loves everybody.
She does.
Anyway, I just it's got 5G and I should be wearing my 5G cap right now. Yeah, I just got harped. They're like, assimilate him. We've got a few questions from the audience, and
I love questions. I love them. I love you guys. I love everybody, man. My chemical imbalance is changing, man. I love you.
We're gonna get some bonus time with Ronnie here. This is excellent.
Here we go.
And I think that having energy is good. I mean, I personally like having energy. Some people don't. Some people like to be mummified caterpillars. I totally get it. That's okay.
Well, they're jealous. It's part of the chemical imbalance. They got to be jealous. They got to be sick. They got to be angry. They got to be mean. You know how many mean people call our company? And I don't get mad. I just think as soon as we can get enough stuff in you, you're going to be happy. You're going to be like, oh, I love you, man. I love you. Because, we can't help how we think sometimes because of all the crap. Can
I have another cheeseburger? I'll feel better.
Okay.
with double cheese. And I don't
Yeah.
want that real organic crap. Give me that American cheese. Is it even cheese? Anyway, I want some of that.
It looks like it. It looks good. It looks good.
My goat eats it.
Yeah. So like some goats, well, okay. Some people are, anyway, I love everybody.
We love you. We love you, man.
This question is for a great question. I think you talked about this a little bit last time about this tea that you had that you were working on that was that could help with diabetes, or it was kind of formulated for diabetes.
Could help. I have to be very careful how I talk here. So I love you guys. So read this word. It will help support normal blood sugars. It's called Takedown Tea. Takedown Tea. And guess what? It's going to debut this weekend.
This weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
So we should, if we don't have it up Friday, look Saturday, and it will be there. I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to. I'm going to go out on a limb. It's going to rock your world. It's great.
Rocket.
It's going to be, it's wonderful. It's just, and you know, as long as we're doing the new product stuff, we got peppermint tea on its way. And what's really cool about it is that car that everybody wants to see is on the front of the package, and it's leaping into the air, and you'll see it. It rocks its world. So it's cool.
It's super cool. It's not super cool. It's super tea. That's super cool from getthetea.com. And this next question is, what about products for menopause?
I'm going to be working on that. I've been asked that. I don't have that right now. But quite honestly, when you go and balance yourself, I really would tell everybody, you know, because you can use my products and you cannot use my products, but I would tell everybody to go see a nutritionist, because if you're feeling like crap, you seriously need to see a nutritionist. And it's not that bad. I mean, it's really not. I was like, this is a piece of cake after all the crap I've been through. So I would just tell you to do that. And then you can take my products and see how they test for you. And that's kind of cool too. You'll actually get proof that it's good for you, instead of me being on a show saying it's good for you. You'll actually see it, test it, and know. And that's even more exciting. When I had all my products and she tested, I'm like, yes, this is so cool. So cool. Did I say so cool? So cool.
Oh yeah. Hello. The next question is, looks like there's so many comments that the questions that they leave, I have to scroll back up, because there's about 800 people live here.
Crazy. These guys are, they've lost it, man. Yeah, I hope I lost it, because when I'm lost, then I can be found.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lost and found. You ever have a friend or a family member that hits rock bottom, and then they, from that point, make it? They realize where they're at, and then they do wonderful after that.
Do you know how many times McDonald's failed before it went big? I mean, this is a huge thing. So this whole lost and found thing is bigger than we know.
Oh yeah, it is. And the dirty clown. You brought up the dirty clown again. I don't know why you did that.
It must be.
What are they putting in your headphones now, Ryan?
I don't know. It's bad. It's vibes.
So, folks, this is how I maintain. Okay, I talk about so many touchy subjects that this is how I deal with things. There's like, Rex, I'm unsubscribing right now. All right, so
we'll get over it.
In closing out, I don't know. Oh yeah, somebody asked a question about Monsanto and the seed vaults or something. Do you know anything about Monsanto having a seed vault that's tucked away somewhere?
I've heard, yeah. In my radio days, I heard about the seed vault, but I never saw any proof of it. I mean, the bad guys are bad enough all on their own. So I don't like to add to that. I mean, is it possible? Absolutely. Is it there? Very well could be. But I don't know how you're going to take really good seeds, organic seeds, and grow in a bad environment. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. So, a little bit of rumor maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Well, and I know that everything is real on the internet.
New comments.
Don't take that serious, folks. That was a joke. This is entertainment. Don't take things too serious. However, what I do take serious is my health. And I do take serious what I do with my health. And I do take serious my physical temple because it's connected to the mental plane. And hey, if we're in good health, we're going to have a lot better opportunities to make a change and be the change that we want to see instead of being a mummified caterpillar, a zombified sheeple. But they have their place in the world too. So I think that most people that are watching this are outside of that realm. And in closing, please, Ronnie, give our listeners, where would you go if we're going to go to getthetea.com right now? Tell us about your specials and what we should do right now.
Well, like I said, the Takedown Tea is going to debut this weekend. So be looking Friday or Saturday. We will have it up for sale, and it will support blood, healthy blood. So I'm very, 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 I've been working on this a very long time because I have that same problem. So just know I'm in there with you. We also on special, we have the Super Tea, which is such a detox thing. And kind of funny, their car won first place. Talk about detox. It was a regular race car. Then it got the Super Tea sponge all over it. And guess what? It detoxed and it won first place. So anyway, but long and short, we have the 3 teas, get 1 free. That's about to end in another week or so, week and a half. So make sure you get that. That's a pretty big savings. There's always a specials page where everything's on sale. And, like I said, I'm very excited about the peppermint tea. That should be up probably by the first of the week, maybe mid-Wednesday next week. And, of course, you'll see my race car on there, which is, catching some major air. And it's really cool for those race buffs out there. And I'm pretty sure, Rex, you probably have a lot of race buffs out there. I just have a feeling about it. They seem to be that kind of people. Let's get to the other end quickly.
Absolutely. Great audience. I feel so honored, lucky, and blessed to know so many amazing people via Leak Project. I feel blessed to know you, Ronnie. I think we have a good relationship. I mean, we talk on and off the air. This isn't just, podcasts on YouTube. I mean, you're a good person. I like where you're going. You're being the change you want to see, and I applaud you for that. So thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do, because without Rex out there doing his job, you wouldn't know anything. It would be dark. We'd be scared. What would we do? So anyway, it's good to have somebody be a leader and take us where no one takes us. And that's,
and thank you for that. And at least, and even for the trolls out there, like, hey, it gives you can make fun of me. So there you go.
Hey,
take it.
Something to do besides taking space up.
We come in peace. Thanks, everybody. Be the change you want to see. Go to getthetea.com. Use the code Leak Project.